Good morning, gardening friends. I'm Lark, and I'd like to take you on a walk through my Wisconsin veggie garden, Zone 5. But I couldn't resist this here. This is on our way to the veggie garden. The monarchs love this Mexican sunflower. There was another one with this one flying around, but she's gone right now. This is on the front of the house that walks to the entrance of my raised bed. And if it isn't a perennial, and it is an annual, I started it from seed. That's catmint in there, blooming for the second time. And Russian sage that I cut down, a couple inches above the ground, so it would bloom later. Oh, isn't it beautiful watching that butterfly? I can't catch them. You'll see them fluttering. So pretty. Here we go into the, oops, I better show you my PG hydrangea. It's so pretty. I have it tied up in several places, so in the winter it probably is going to look real good. But right now it is just stunning. And what's so nice about a hydrangea is that the blooms start fading, they get pink, and then they dry up. But the snow looks pretty on them too. Here's the entrance to my veggie garden that you've seen in previous videos, made from my old gazebo. Then we use the canopy spokes for stakes down in my container garden. So I used every single bit of it. What's growing up it is the scarlet runner bean. And yes, they're edible. But I'm growing it also for the red-orange flowers. I had to chicken wire. Of course, the beans itself, because the bunnies were eating them. I'll show you the beans forming. I do freeze the beans. They are good tasting. I don't let them get real big. If you get real big, they're a purple seed inside, quite large. Now, I don't know. Maybe I can get this one here. Let's see. Nope. When it's young, the seeds aren't purple yet. I'll show them to you later on. Tasty bean though. A lot of calendula in this area, in my asparagus bed. And those of you that follow me know that I use it for making oil infusions. And then, someday soon, the bees, they will come up with smelling on YouTube. This is anishyssop. And the bees are working it. Anishyssop is good good tea, very good tea. Licorice flavoring, good for your digestive system. It's a little tummy ache, chew on that. Or make a tea. Just some lettuce I'm leaving go to seed. This is a pretty one. This is Refugio, I think it's called. Raspberry patch is putting on its second flush now. So we were down to about a half a cup of raspberries a day during its lull. And now the top growth is going to be producing. So I'm pleased with it, but I need to find an easier method to get in and out of there. And I think I'm going to hoop it. See those nasty Japanese beetles? Where is he? Right there. He'd be squished if my hands weren't occupied right now. When I have a lot of them, I use the soapy water. An old gazebo I found at the dump that Dave put up for me for a trellis. So in the spring it's peas and now it's cucumbers. Now having flowers in your garden attracts a lot of pollinators, and they love my flowers. I love them too, but it's great to attract them for pollinating. Carrots are doing okay. Some celery. Oh, this is a little one here. Here. Oh, and this is a box elder tree. We pull and we drop. Potatoes, I started way late in this bed just because I had some sprouting potatoes. And I didn't hill them. Just stuck them in, mulched them, and we'll see what I get from them. Watch me get a good harvest from that. I worked so hard on my other potatoes, and they're in too wet of an area, and these here look good so far. That's our neighborhood dentist that has land in a landing pad that you hear. That is a helicopter. Okay, Kentucky Wonder pole bean, doing well, growing on a structure that I have in here. And then I also put tall saplings in, stuck them in the ground so the beans can climb on them, on the branches. Then they get composted. My soil that I use up here, I'm just going to let the new people know. I use the Lasagna Method, layering compost, grass clippings, dried leaves, worm castings, and coffee grounds. And I've done it for about 5 years now. I think it's about that. Holy basil, I grow quite a bit of it. Excellent tea, also known as Tulsi. Cilantro going to seed, and then I just drop it. So the Lasagna Method works very good for me. And here's some more celery. And I've learned from someone on YouTube that told me just take off 1 or 2 stalks on the outside when you need it and let it keep growing. So I do that. Thank you. I use quite a bit of borage in the garden too. And I deadhead it so it keeps blooming. Or cut it back and it'll rebloom. I use quite a bit of devices or trellising for my tomatoes. This one here happens to be a tomato cage inverted. One on the bottom, and then I invert it and it goes to the top. This one's probably about 7 foot. And then I have the frame of my greenhouse that I attach it to too. Peas grew in on that in spring. Lasagna Method here and the chop and drop. Letting things go to seed. I learned that my onions were too crowded and shaded out by other veggies. So next year I think I'll give them an area to themselves instead of trying to fit them in both the gardens. Pepper production is tremendous this year, but I heard a lot of you say that. So far, the blight has not hit up here. I have a variety of peppers. They aren't the hot ones, except for jalapeno to me. Poblano, Carmen, Italian roaster, and yellow, green, and red bells. My lavender keeps blooming and blooming. But I see yucky dead growth, so I'm going to be cutting it down to a few inches of the ground. Nasturtiums are a must in my garden. I eat those leaves and the flowers. Onions, like I said, didn't do so good, but if they had a little green on them, even though they're bent over, they aren't browned at the connection, I left them in to harvest later because I don't need them right now. We'll see what they do. Broccoli's doing okay. Basil, I think what do you call it? Not companion. Well, companion and permaculture. Putting things, other plants in close to, especially the brassicas, confuse the butterfly. Okay, now that's going up the frame. And then I have strings attached to the top of the frame. And I'm winding the tomato onto the string. Of course I have a ladder here. And I think it'll go to the top. I want to get as many tomatoes as I can for drying, especially these Juliet cherry tomatoes. And yes, there's chicken wire here, but I also have an opening in between each 2-foot section so I can get in and pick. So up here, so far, so good. Over here are Market More. Thank you, Bernard, for the Market More 76 suggestion. They do well. The other two I grow are Telegraph and Soyo. Nice long slender one. Dill, lettuce going to seed, calendula in here. It's supposed to help with the squash vine borer, deter it from, I have watermelon in there that I'm growing for the first time. The verbena, Buenos Aires, is a good guys. It attracts the good guys. Good bugs. And the bees. And the butterflies love it, both. But here's my watermelon. And I have it covered with a stocking because I had a, I think it probably was a chipmunk eating it. Can you see that blemish on there? So I covered it with a stocking. The stocking, I hope, doesn't inhibit the growth of the watermelon, so we'll see. It's sitting on the ground. I want it on something firm. There, I put it on a stepping stone. And there's several in there. It's that sugar baby. Never grown it before, so if you have any suggestions for the upkeep on it until I harvest it, let me know. Beets, doing good. Harvested a few. I planted them in succession planting. Again, the lasagna method of amending the soil. But my neighbor's trees, which are a matter of feet away, a few feet, love my garden. So the big roots come this way. I do not dig, I do not till, I do not double dig, but I do sever the roots at the around the edges of the cinder blocks to pull out the tree roots every spring and every fall. And that's what I use for my raised bed, is cinder blocks. And then I plant in the hole. This one's sweet marjoram. and my nightly chamomile and opal basil. I do have a lot more green basil, but the opal looks so pretty in salads. Right now what I'm doing is taking the flower off so it spreads, so it bushes out. The green is back there, good companion for the cucumbers and the watermelon. I use twigs for holding stuff up. Whoops, I'm sorry, I'm too close. Lots of twigs in my garden. I wish my monarch would show up over here, or that swallowtail. Oh, it's so pretty. They love this. They love landing on it. So we'll see how the watermelon does meandering in there. It certainly doesn't get full sun with all the other plants it's going. Whoops, that flower's in the way. All the other plants it has to go through, around and up. And these are red wing onions that fell over. I think the woodchuck was walking in here. But they're still green, so I take it they'll still grow. Comfrey's doing great. Harvest, oh, this is the third time now. Yes, I leave Queen Anne's lace grow in my garden. I just deadhead it before it goes to seed. Comfrey. Now this I will harvest probably today. And there's a few more stalks in here right when it's beginning to flower. You see it's setting flower? And then I make an oil infusion. Easy, really easy. I did buy this year, instead of weighting the comfrey down under the olive oil and keeping it down, I used a glass jar filled with water. Now I bought some of those, the brand Ball weights, glass weights for quart size jars, wide mouth. Good investment. Very good, because even when we move into our senior living, I will still be doing infusions. There's an area I can plant comfrey, and I will make sure I have comfrey and calendula. And yes, I leave lamb's quarters grow over here. Also plantain. And what else do I let grow? Purslane. That's a planting of some lettuce I just seeded, and that's so the bunny doesn't get it. But yep, here we go. This is my daily salads. I don't juice. I like to chew, so they go in my salads, and then the other entrance to the veggie garden. So take care, my gardening friends. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for commenting. And enjoy your garden. Take care.